Can public speaking be learned? This is something that has really a two-part answer to it, but at the end of the day, yes, public speaking can be learned. Most people, like myself, before I got into public speaking, I thought there's no way I can learn it. I'm not confident enough. I don't believe in myself enough. I don't have anything worth sharing. But I did learn over time that I had something worth sharing. And believe it or not, now I teach a lot on how to speak better. And who would think, okay, I'm a person that teaches on how to speak better. Nobody thinks about that when they think about speaking or public speaking or anything like that, about teaching about public speaking. That seems like the weirdest kind of thing, because you're literally teaching on the thing that you're teaching on, if you will. So really weird and bizarre. But to answer the question, yes, you can learn. And there's really two ways to this. The first one is through theory. And theory being, what do you actually need to do to speak? Literally speaking, having an outline on your speech, the ums and the ahs, the very technical stuff that comes with speaking, basically like the classroom. So you have this theory side, and you can learn that. There's many resources to learn that. You're either listening on podcast or watching on my YouTube channel right now to learn about public speaking. There's other YouTube channels. There's other podcasts to do that. There's digital courses. I've got one. Plenty of them out there to choose from. You even have Toastmasters, where you can go and learn from other people. They've got a curriculum there that you can learn. You got classes, college classes, all sorts of ways to learn the theory of public speaking. And while this is great, and this is something that you should do, and you should learn as much as you can about public speaking, about the thing that you want to do, there is a caveat to this, and it only gets you so far. Much like anything else, when we learn in theory, when we simply learn and we don't take action on that thing, we can only get so far with that. So the second part to that is actually getting real world experience. It's not just about having that theory. Yes, you want to have that knowledge, because this background knowledge that you have in your mind is going to allow you to be able to then do those things when you actually start to take action, and you're going to have that background knowledge to make you better and more successful at it. But through that action is where you can really learn to speak publicly. So for instance, you may not think about it. You may read something about, hey, you should be looking at the camera lens when you are speaking in public if you're doing it on a video per se, or looking at people's eyes. But I'm doing this on video, so a little bit easier to explain. But if I simply look off to the side, or if I completely look away or talk away from the mic as well, for those that are listening, it looks kind of weird that I'm not looking at you, or I'm not speaking directly into the microphone. And yes, you learn that through theory, but when you actually start seeing that on video, or you start seeing speakers on stage, or yourself on stage, and seeing how the audience doesn't react that well, or they can't hear you, and they're literally having to listen in or lean in because they want to know what you said, and they have this puzzled look on their face because it's so quiet. Similar to the TV, whenever it's a really quiet part and you feel like you need to go back and re-listen to it. Unfortunately, on stage, you don't tend to have a rewind button where you can go back and repeat something, and people can't tell you to repeat that. So people just miss out on that information. And when you start to do these things, you start to realize, oh, do I need to be a little bit closer to the mic? Can I stay a little further away? Do I need to look in on somebody? Am I bouncing around to too many people too often? Am I just taking 1 second to look at one person and another second for the next and just keep bouncing? Maybe I should actually focus in on one person for a couple of sentences, 10 seconds. You got to figure out your style, what works for you, and based on what you're talking about the time. But as you take these reps, yes, you learn that in some kind of class, in some kind of book, some kind of digital course, whatever. But once you actually apply it in real life, that's when it will actually start to apply and really stick. So, but you can learn public speaking, but it's really through two ways. One, through that theory, and the other one being through the real world applications, or taking action. Maybe for you, it's going to be harder for you to learn because you come from an introverted background, or you're a shy person, you lack the confidence in yourself, you don't know what you're going to talk about. Maybe there's all these things that are in your way that are not allowing you to be able to be the speaker that you want to be. And there may be the other person that has all the confidence in the world. They know exactly what they want to talk about. They believe in themselves. They believe in their message. And they may be further along than you on that path to speak, and it may be easier for them. But at the end of the day, you are able to learn how to speak in public no matter what. No matter your skill set, no matter where you're at in life, you can learn to speak publicly. So public speaking can be learned, but it takes you learning through theory, YouTube videos, books, wherever you learn at, and then actually applying that. You have to have those two parts. Yes, you can learn through just applying. You don't necessarily need the book, but you can't have the theory and not have the application. So for sure, if you're going to choose one of the two to do, definitely do the application. Because when you do the application, when you apply the things that you learned, or you just start speaking, you can learn from that as well and be able to get better. But overall, you can learn to be a public speaker.